Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Something is Killing the Children, issue 44. And if I can adjust my camera slightly. So it begins the day with Aaron waking up very, very early and doing the usual things with Werther's beautiful artwork, as we would expect. And he cannot find some specific files. They appear to be missing on the previous encounter on the mountain. So he's come to ask, I guess, the librarian master about Valmont Mountain House, where Jessica and Cecilia were training, and what happened up there. And he said, and basically in a nutshell, he says, just because you can't find records doesn't mean there's no records. You need to be able to ask for them. And because he is not the primary monster hunter on this case, and he doesn't seem to be in a position of authority, he's almost instantly rejected, as well as not being the primary hunter back on the original message. So these records are not meant to be for his eyes at all. Also, I think there's a quip here about being left out. Is he ever going to get to use his teeth? And he almost becomes, I mean, if you remember those first sort of 15 issues before Aaron is brutally done, he is sort of like an agent that sort of supports rather than gets stuck in this particular series. So Ada wheels himself in, because he was the trainer at the time, and he allows for Aaron to have access. So these records will be very sensitive, but he is allowed. So he's allowed to come in, but when he goes in, this dude calls Cecilia to advise that when access is granted, that he's meant to go to the old dragon for final approval. It's, you know, it's a hierarchy. I want to see these files. The manager says yes, and then the senior director, whatever, says yes, I'm happy for him to see them. Very normal regime in what's it called? Probably in corporations, but I guess in industries as well. You know, there's probably certain sacred texts out there in, I don't know, whatever, and you can't just simply access them. So Cecilia has gone on a plane because she is worried about her friend dearly, because something clearly did happen on that damn mountain. Gary has gone for the ride because she has done it outside of the normal regime, so that means he is going to be a bit nosy and join them. So there we go. So back in the hotel, Erica is helping a young girl who, I don't know whether, I can't remember whether it was her parents. There was a big gap between this release and the last release. And apparently hotels charge ridiculous prices. Yes, they do. Yes, they certainly do. Very, very easily done. And she's wondering where the lady is. Now, the lady is scribbling on the mountain map, much to this hotel's manager's issue, because he did not give permission for her to do that. I think it's the way that he's been drawn there. No, maybe it is female. Maybe I've just looked at it wrong. So basically what we learn is that in the 90s, they had to change some of the trails because they were considered too dangerous. And this is where she says, yeah, they were. And this is where we finally flash back, because I thought we were going to sort of bounce back and forth throughout the whole run, but we didn't really. Bear in mind, this isn't the present time Erica saw. This is when Erica is training. And then we go back to where Cecilia and... Sorry, wrong one. where Celia and Jesse were training as young things. And, you know, there was a bit of banter between them, a bit of winding up and trying to make things difficult. And then Addie simply says, you need to learn to stalk quietly because you're going to be found out very, very quickly. And I've got to apologize because I went quiet very there because I couldn't remember Jessica's name, which is bad reviewer. So he's trying to teach her, and he's trying to teach them survival skills in terms of how to track down the monster, because the monster has a specific tint of smell, and it's kind of like a metal kind of smell. So, you know, when we get sort of smells and we're like, I know what that smell is. That's, and what he's trying to train her is that they can decipher that whilst they are investigating and trying to find this monster on the mountains. And then it's basically there's more bodies to be found, and it's time to mask up because they're going to see what they're dealing with. So it is a very slow burn issue, and building up the story. Once again, James does this incredibly well, much to sometimes my annoyance, because sometimes he does it too much. And I've always enjoyed slow burn comics, but the worry is that, I mean, once these flow, they really flow. I mean, if I was reading this as an end story, I'm pretty sure this would be flowing, but I'm reading it every issue, so it's a little bit different. So when you're doing that over 12 months just to finish one story, or sometimes even 15 months, and sometimes they have breaks in between sections, it's a long process. And James does it very well. So those who are not perhaps really into this could easily lose interest in Something is Killing the Children, which is a shame, because it's a wonderful series. Like I said before, I was generally hoping we were going to get to modern day Erica, but clearly that is, we're probably about 5-6 issues before we get back to that point, or perhaps hopefully it starts leading into the next thing. But I can see this going on for, you know, 5-10 issues before we get to that, finally, that big bang moment that has been teased for probably the last couple of years. James Tynion IV is an amazing writer. Werther Dell'Edera illustrations are on the bomb in this issue, and colors by Miguel Murto. He certainly finds the tone, and well design on the letters certainly delivers with that. So yeah, another great issue, and like I said, I enjoy this series a great deal. I think it's just, it would be hard to hook new readers, but this is becoming a cult classic. The worry is, I still want this to go on, but the worry is sometimes with these things, they go on too long, and then they end up moving away from that original run. But you don't want it to be the same every time either. So there's still plenty to explore with Erica, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So thank you for watching. If you like my channel, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very, very important these days. Thank you to everybody that subscribed already, and embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.